This is Jonathan Agnew here for Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Ben Shalom, back from Poland into another big fight, June 17th, Eubank Smith or Smith Eubank 2. Ben, we thought maybe we wouldn't get this fight because all the Conor Ben discussion, but here we are. How are you feeling?
Yeah, delighted to have it now. To be honest, when it was first put in the contract, I remember I was really dead against a rematch clause. And then even afterwards, I was trying to resist it, and then it got activated. But now we're here, and you're seeing Eubank Jr., for me, a different demeanour. Slightly, I know he's made some jokes, but it's more serious. And I've been around him today, more serious in what he's, in how he's focused and what he's planning. It's a must-win fight for his career. It's massive. The first fight felt like, and I said up there, a bit of the Eubank Jr. show, not amongst boxing, but I'm talking about the casual fans. Liam Smith hadn't been in a box office fight before, and I don't think the mainstream fans thought that he could win this fight. I mean, it was unbelievable. The reaction when we initially announced was almost like, "Oh, this is a joke." This is truly unbelievable. And it's the same people saying Smith had no chance the first fight. They're now saying Eubank has no chance. For me, it's a great fight, and we saw that the first time. And if Eubank is the Eubank of old, and maybe it was the two weight camps, the two camps and the weight losses. Maybe that was why we didn't see the resilience that we're used to. If that is the case, then we're in for a huge fight with way more on the line this time. Liam Smith wants to become a two-time world champion. Chris Eubank Jr. wants to stay in these big fights that he's made a habit of in recent years. And yes, really looking forward to it.
For the winner, if it goes your way again, Liam Smith wins, what fight would you prefer to make? Brooks, Saunders, Ben?
I know Kell Brooks interested in the winner. I know that. But for me, Liam Smith could fight for a world title next. And we'll see what happens with Tim Tszyu and Charlo, and whether whatever's going on there and how long that takes. But I think September, Brook, Tim Tszyu, maybe even Janabek. We did get ordered for a world title, and we would have considered it had we not had this obligation. So there's huge fights for Liam Smith if he can come through, as there is for Eubank Jr. as well.
Just to those who are sort of saying, well, the first fight ended in 4 rounds, what's the point of seeing this rematch? What do you say to those people who, as you say, would say Eubank's got no chance this time?
It's the same guys that said we should have never seen Eubank Smith, and Eubank was going to be too strong, and Liam Smith would never knock him out, and it would definitely end only one way. That was what we felt the first time in terms of public opinion. I think when it's happened, never happened before to Chris Eubank Jr., you can't say to me that Liam Smith at middleweight punches harder than George Groves at super middleweight. Even I won't accept that. Of course, it's shot selection and combinations and all the rest of it, but clearly that wasn't the Eubank Jr. we all know in terms of the way he went down. So let's see. I think it's a fascinating fight. I think there's so much on the line, and I think yeah, I know it. The first one for me was the biggest fight this year in the UK, and I think the second one's going to be bigger. I really do.
And just moving on, obviously you saw Martin Bakole and Dillian Whyte go at it. Is that a realistic fight?
Look, it's our job to make noise for Martin Bakole. We only signed him recently, and his first fight was last week. He certainly made noise last week. He was everywhere. He wants the big fights. I think it's a shame that it's so unrealistic. We know it's unrealistic, but it's a shame that it is when you've got number 1 and number 2. Deontay's got number 1 without even fighting, so work that one out. You've got Usyk being ordered against Dubois. There should be. We are a sport as well as a business. You've got to be able to fight your way to the top. Alexander Usyk did it, and now is the king of the heavyweight division after becoming mandatory. That's the route that we want to go down with Martin Bakole. There's no reason why governing bodies shouldn't follow rules and regulations. Whether they will or not, I accept. But it's our job to make sure Martin Bakole is in the mix. And yeah, I think he made a lot of noise last week.
I know tensions are running high that night. Did you see Dillian Whyte's comments on a Polish TV channel? Obviously, tensions, like I say, were running high, but I just wondered if you saw those comments.
Well, it wasn't appropriate, was it? But as you said, tensions were running high. It was one of those outtake TV moments that you see on, it's on the face of the Polish presenter. Imagine us doing our first show for Polish TV, and we say, "Oh, we've got a great interview with Dillian Whyte," and then that happens live on TV. It's not appropriate. 100%, we know that, and I'm sure Martin Bakole and his team will be objecting to that. Who knows where that goes? But yeah, tensions were running high. I really like both guys. I got a lot of time for Dillian. It was great that he was out there supporting Alan Babic, and I think it was a bit of a blunder and a much ado about nothing.
And then you mentioned like Bakole against Wilder. You think that can happen?
No, I just said I don't think it can happen, because unfortunately the business is going to overtake the sport. The fact is, he's number 2 in the rankings. It's our duty as a promoter to make sure that we're calling out number 1. Usyk will get ordered against Dubois, and as I say, if we follow rules and regulations, that fight would happen. Do I think it will happen? No. But that's where the sport maybe will get to in a few years' time, that fighters are fighting regularly, that aren't waiting 18 months just for a big fight. That's what I would like to see. Joe Joyce fought for Zhang last month, lost. People are talking about why did he take that fight, how stupid it was to take the fight. For me, Queensberry have done an absolute favour to boxing. We got to see a huge heavyweight fight, not on pay-per-view, and yes, it was a risk, but I still want to see Joe Joyce against Dillian Whyte. I still want to see Joe Joyce against Anthony Joshua. I'd like the heavyweight division to fight more regularly and not be afraid of taking fights because of a potential monster fight that might happen once every 18 months. That's all it is, and it's our duty to make sure Martin Bakole gets in the mix.
Ben Shalom, thanks for talking to Pro Boxing fans. Look forward to June 17th.
Cheers, mate.